Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and I want to welcome you all to my channel. Today's video is going to be a DIY for resale video. So basically items that I am making to resell in my vendor booths. I'm very excited for the holidays to come. Been prepping like crazy. And so today I'm going to show you 3 projects that I have created to resell in my vendor booths this season. So I hope you enjoy. Our first project today is going to be a project I started last year. I had my husband, while he was up at the cabin, get some like this size type of log, and I took it and I cut them all, and I cut hundreds of these, and it took the wood is wet, so I did let them dry for about a week, but I did have a mark on my saw, and I made sure that when I would always line it up with that mark so they all came out the same thickness. Now, after I let these all dry for 2 weeks, I did go ahead and divide them into 2 piles. I painted half the white and I painted the other half black. And I did that, and then I let them dry overnight, and I was planning on creating ornaments with these, and for a year these have all sat now in my to-do project pile. So I have been obsessed with seeing like the number 25, like even for Halloween, or for the Halloween, I've been seeing like October 31st or 31. So what I did is I wanted to create a series of ornaments with the number 25. So what I did is last year, when I was dabbling yet with IOD, I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this. So I have a lot of stamps already other than the IOD. So I found this stamp set in my stash of all my crafty items, and it had a circle, and then it has the number 25 in the center. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a bunch with the red ink pad from IOD, the black ink pad from IOD, and at the end I discovered that I could actually take my stencil brush and like plop enough chalk paint on this stamp as well, and I also had green. So I did that for all of these, and I'm really absolutely loving how all of those turned out. It's just such an easy, simple thing to do. It's just time consuming, the whole process, because you have to, just cutting them took me a day, and then letting them dry took 2 weeks, and then going back and then painting them all, and then like I said, I let them dry overnight. Now this is the easy part, where I use that flat mount, and I put the items on whatever stamp that I'm using on there, and then stamping. But here I'm showing you just how it's nice with that flat mount, the lines on there, so you get everything perfectly straight and centered on there. And then next, I'm going to be drilling a hole for all of these ornaments, and I am using twine as my hanger, which makes them look really nice and rustic as well. Now the other item that I'm going to be using is the typesetting set of stamps from IOD, and I love this set. It is by far my favorite set of stamps, my letter set I should say, because it does come with capital letters, lowercase, and the numbers. So I lined it up on the flat mount like I did with the other set of stamps, or that other stamping stamp that I had. And here I decided to use on these, I'm going to do red, black, and I'm going to put that on there as well. So again, I loved the different fonts that I've used with all these different ornaments. I think overall the whole project turned out awesome, and I'm going to just show you the rest. So here I use the Cricut and I cut out a stencil and I'm showing you here how easy it is to stencil on these. What I find is that so often people overload their stencil brush, so several lighter coats work so much better. So definitely something that I would recommend everyone, just several thin coats versus one heavier one. Now I'm going to drill a hole in each one of these, and I'm going to use the table to hold the actual piece, kind of like have it overhang a bit, and then I'm going to take the drill and I'm just going to drill a hole. I want to find the center and then drill it from there, and you can see it went through really easy. Oh, and there you have it. To finish this project off, in the video I had showed you how I drilled the hole, and I just have this twine, and we're just going to add a piece of twine to each one of these to make it an actual ornament and make it rustic looking. So I just cut it like so, and then we're going to tie a knot on top, and then it will hang from the tree. So what I'm going to do is, because I figured out the length, I try to cut as many of, try to cut them then all the same size. So I cut a bunch, and then I'm just going to do a tie like so. And then we have a nice ornament for the Christmas tree.
I'm driving down an empty freeway.
In this project, I took a 1x8 and I cut out little trees. So what we're gonna start with is we're gonna decorate these up, and I cut them, I think it was like a 15-degree angle, I'm thinking, I don't know. And we're just going to decorate them up and create ornaments for the tree as well. This project, so I showed you how I cut these out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna paint them first. So with this one, I am going to paint 2 white, 2 green, and then 2 red. And just to give you a sampling of the actual look I'm going for. So let's go ahead and paint these. We're going to use the Fern chalk paint by Waverly as well on these. And last, we're going to use the Crimson Red from Waverly as well. The trees are done, so I painted them on both sides, brought them outside, sanded them. I also drilled a hole in the side for the rope to hang them. Now I am going to use the stamp called Kindness Regards. I love it. I love the font on it, and I'm going to stamp all of them the same with the actual, the beautiful font across it. So I'm going to do black on the white, and I'm going to try white on the multiple colored ones. So let's start. What I discovered looking this over, I think like this side of the stamp is gonna give me the most font on the actual stamp or the actual piece itself. So let's go ahead and we're gonna do, like I said, do the black over here. And I am going to stamp both sides of the actual tree. All right, so I'm going to just put it down and then rub it over. And then I'm gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna do the next one. There's that one. And then what I will do is, actually, I'm just going to do, I think, this side for the white. And there you have it. So the white is done, and so is the black. And then I'm gonna let these dry, and then we're gonna do the back half, and then we'll finish the piece. So I did finish stamping both sides. I also clear coated it just with the standard Rust-Oleum clear coat, and I let that dry. And now I'm taking the twine like I did with the other ornaments, and I'm adding that. What I decided as well was I wanted to add a little tree, a stem or stump to each one of these. So I do have some sticks outside, and what I'm going to do is go out there and just cut a small little stick and add that as the actual, I keep wanting to call it a stem, but it's a trunk, the actual trunk of the tree. So I think it's going to be a nice added little touch, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Initially, I thought I wasn't going to be able to show you what these look like with the little stems, because I was going to use wood glue, and then in the wood glue, it takes a while for it to dry, but I decided to use hot glue instead. So there they are. I think they turned out so cute with the little stems on there, and these will be a great addition to my booth. In this project, we have a 1x8, and we are going to cut it vertical. So from this point all the way to that corner, we're going to cut across, and we are going to make 3 different size Christmas trees. So you can see the line, and I'm going to take my jigsaw and I'm going to cut it that way. I'm using a jigsaw because I want it to be not perfect. So let's go ahead and get cutting. So here I'm taking my jigsaw and I'm starting off cutting. I don't have anything really to hold it, but so I'm trying to use the table to cut halfway this way. And then what I will do is once I get to a certain point, I'm going to turn it. And when I turn it, then you can see I can then finish cutting the rest of the boards. And I do that with all 3 pieces. And then once I do that, I'm going to show you once I finish here, I'm going to set that down, and then I'm going to show you, flip it, and there is the tree. Well, yep, like that, the tree. So next I'm going to take the sander, and I am going to sand all the edges and basically round them a little bit just to give it more of a finished look. And there was one piece that actually had writing on there, is like a label for pricing at the wood store. And then we're going to take that as well and remove that. But this, you can see the edges are not perfect where I cut, and that is really the look I was going for. I don't want them to be perfect. A tree's not perfect. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to make it look more rustic. So I have these all set to paint. I think I'm going to paint the tall one red. And then the medium one, I'm going to do white. And then the little one, I will do the green. So we're going to just use the same chalk paint that I did for those other little ornaments. And we're going to go from here.
I'm driving down an empty freeway. No waiting.
To start us off, I basically took all the boards and I painted on both sides. I distressed them and then I flipped them over, the back side that I did not distress, and I laid a short board. This one I think is like 10 inches. And we're going to take the brad nailer and we're going to brad nail these in. Perfect. And then that will give it enough stability. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to put a little tiny base on the bottom. So let's go ahead and build these first. And then after we put the base, we'll decorate them up and then we'll put the base on. So now I'm decorating the trees. With the red one, I decided to use the farmhouse set of lettering set and write joy or stamp joy on it. I love this set and it just reminds me of the Ray Dunn look. So I decided to use that. And whenever you use the stamps, just like I had shown you in all the previous videos, our previous portion of this video, just lay your stamps down and then gently rub over it to make the ink then apply to the whole piece. So there you have it. I absolutely love how this turned out. I'm going to make each of the trees just a little different. So I am going to tie in some of the other items from the previous in the video. So I am going to use the kindness regards stamp on the white tree, and then I'm also going to use the number 25, and I'm going to eventually, after I stop rolling the camera, I'm actually going to add December. So yep, here I'm adding the 25. And then after I did it, my husband walked in and he's like, why don't you put December 25th? I'm like, oh, great idea. So I did add that. I might even actually go back on the ornaments that had just the 25 and just put like DEC with like a little period and add that somehow in to each of the ornaments too. So we'll see. Again, ever changing, but I'm absolutely loving how these turned out. They were by far my favorite. I can't wait to make more. I have so many more ideas of how I'm going to create different trees for all of my different booths.
I'm driving down an empty freeway. No waiting for the light to change. I'm seeing the sunrise behind me.
So tell me, what was your favorite item? Mine absolutely were the trees. I love them. I just spur of the moment came up with them. They were by far my favorite. I think they are going to look awesome in people's home decor. The tree that I came up with at Cranberry Fest was more of a porch decor. So, but let me know in the comments what your favorite item was. I also want to let you guys know that I am now selling IOD. I made my purchase, I got all the molds out there, but because of Cranberry Fest, I have been honestly so super busy that I have not yet been able to get all the stamps and the inks and all of that jazz out there. I am going to be working this weekend on that. If there is one set of stamps that you are interested in, let me know. I can go ahead, get that out there first. And some other exciting news, I also applied for DIY paint and I made my first order. So you are now going to be able to get all your paint from me as well. So I'm very excited. I have been thinking about doing that for a while. Love it. I've actually been dabbling with many different paints and trying to decide which one was my favorite. I finally decided DIY was the way to go, and that will be available not only online, but I will also have it available at one of my, hopefully all my vendor booths eventually. So again, I want to thank you all for following along, welcome you back if you've been here before, and welcome to all my new viewers. If this is the type of channel that you do love, DIY, thrift flips, thrift hauls, day in the life of a small business owner, then you have found your channel. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so every Monday and Friday when I do release a video, you'll be notified. And then tell me what your favorite item was today. Again, mine was the trees, so I want you all to have a wonderful weekend and we'll see you Monday. More fun DIYs on Monday. All right, bye.